Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
We have all heard about the cold, harsh Canadian winters. Well, it's obvious those days are down the road. It's a beautiful day for baseball. Here in Toronto, what better than a hot dog and a ball game on a Saturday afternoon? As today, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 3 of a 4-game series at Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with David Cohn, and thanks for watching Yankees baseball on Yes. Well, it's been cold and harsh for the Yankees in the first 2 games of this series. The Blue Jays, David, have kind of outplayed them in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, they really have. You know, in the Yankees, the one thing that jumps out at me is what's compounded the whole problem is those 5 errors. When the errors have been made, the pitchers haven't picked up the defense, a lot of unearned runs, and a lot of bad pitches, and a lot of doubles on the Blue Jays side.
Well, let's hear what manager Joe Girardi of the Yankees has to say about what's happened in these first 2 ball games.
It's not the way you want to start out, but let's not make too much of it. I mean, it's 2 games, so we'll get back on track and we'll start playing well again.
Well, I think there's no better way to turn things around than have a pitcher on the mound who's capable of shutting down the opposition. The Blue Jays have scored 23 runs in the first 2 games of this series, and they've had 31 hits. But today, the Yankees have the man on the mound.
Yes, they do. Mr. Sabathia, and mind you, he has pitched so well, maybe one of the best runs of his career. Not only is he on a scoreless streak, watch out Oral Hershiser, that's on down the road. You know, remember he broke John Drysdale's scoreless streak at 56 innings. CeCe's got a ways to go, but he's also on a strikeout run as well. And as I said, I've never seen CeCe throw better in his entire career than he is right now during this streak.
Well, let's check out our New York Lottery pitching matchup for this afternoon's ball game. CeCe Sabathia right now with a league-leading 13 victories against only 4 losses and a great earned run average of 2.72. He's in there against Ricky Romero, an all-star left-hander, despite the fact he has a losing record, but he has a very good earned run average. Let's check out CeCe's last few outings.
Yeah, as I was saying, CeCe has not only got an incredible scoreless streak going and really picking up the Yankees, he's got the K-ball going. CeCe not really known as a strikeout pitcher. He kind of gets them when he needs them. But over the last 3 or 4 starts, he has had double digits twice. He's got that slider going to left-handers. He is absolutely murder on lefties and righties. That changeup down and away is devastating. Sabathia feels it. Everybody knows it. Sabathia's really got it working. And as you see by those numbers, those double-digit strikeouts in 2 of the last 3, maybe the best strikeout run of his career. And, of course, 0-0-0 in runs allowed. That tells you all you need to know.
Well, you got a matchup of left-handers on the mound in this afternoon's ball game. In fact, probably the best pitching matchup of this series. CeCe Sabathia against Ricky Romero. We've got lineups, first pitch, and baseball coming up next, right here on Yes. Picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. And by the new definition of world class, the 2011 Buick LaCrosse. Well, the 3rd successive game here in Toronto. The roof is open. It's a beautiful day here north of the border. And they have just broken up the meeting at home plate where they've exchanged lineups. Momentarily, the Blue Jays will be taking the field to take on the New York Yankees. And that baseball on the mound will be picked up by left-hander Ricky Romero, an all-star left-hander who's got various weapons. And right now, we'll check out the Yankees starting lineup presented by HP. And at the very top, standing in the on-deck circle, leading off the ball game will be the captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter. And for the first time ever, Curtis Granderson will be a designated hitter. He'll hit second. Mark Teixeira will be at first base. Robinson Cano in the cleanup spot. He'll be at second. Nick Swisher's in right field. Andrew Jones in left. Brett Gardner in center field today. Eduardo Nunez at third. And batting ninth and catching, Francisco Cervelli. There is Curtis Granderson. He'll be following Derek Jeter, but as we mentioned, this is the first time in his career he's going to serve as a designated hitter, and I guess that could throw off your routine somewhat, Coney.
You're going to be jittery in between innings. You're going to grab your glove and realize, no, I got to sit on the bench. I got to watch this game like a pitcher.
Speaking of pitching, there's the man on the mound today, 26-year-old Ricky Romero, an all-star left-hander.
And that 7-8 record certainly shows you that he hasn't got a lot of run support, because the 3.09 ERA is solid, along with the other numbers. 101 strikeouts at 122 in the third innings. Take a look at the Jeep pitcher scouting report. He is definitely a quality lefty. 14 of his 18 starts this year have been quality, which means 3 earned runs or less in 6 innings or more. That's a rate of 78%, and that is the 5th best in the AL. The first best, Justin Verlander, who's been 19 for 21 in quality starts, a 90% clip for the Detroit Tigers. And on a run, his last 11 starts, he's got a 2.59 ERA. That's just 23 earned runs and a little over 80 innings pitched. And he is also a double play master. Since 2009, he has 68 ground ball double plays. That is first in the major league. Second is Joe Saunders, who had 66 ground ball double plays.
Ricky Romero's had 2 starts against the Yankees this year. They beat the Yankees April 29th at Yankee Stadium. He also started at the stadium on May 24th and had a no decision in a game that the Yankees won. Now here's Derek Jeter leading off. Jeter in this series is 1 for 8, but he's hit 21 of his last 25 ball games as he steps in to start the ball game here in Toronto. And now it is time for baseball. First pitch from Romero is outside for ball 1. Romero has all the pitches: fastball, curve, slider, and a changeup. His changeup acts like a splitter. It kind of dives down and away from right-handed hitters. Ball's hit on the ground to short for Escobar, who's had a good series offensively and defensively. And he'll throw out Derek Jeter for out number 1. Let's check out the rest of the Blue Jays on defense. Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Snyder, Davis, and Thames. In the infield, McDowell at third, Escobar at short. You just saw him. Hill at second, Lind at first. The rookie, J.P. Arancibia behind home plate. Ricky Romero on the mound. Now here comes Curtis Granderson. 2 for 8 in this series. And he takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. And as we told you, first time ever, he's been a designated hitter. Next pitch is swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. And Joe Girardi, before the series even started, said he was going to watch his whole ball club playing on turf and maybe giving Curtis a little bit of a blow with a day game following a night game. Just inside, 2-1. Now, David, what do you like about Romero when you see him pitch?
Well, you know, he just has a real presence on the mound. He's got all the pitches, a running fastball. You see him try to throw that 2-seamer in on lefties. He's got a good slider, but an excellent changeup to neutralize right-handed bats as well.
That one hangs a little high, and the count is run to 3 balls and a strike on Granderson.
He's almost like a reverse lefty. He does better against right-handed batters than he does against lefties, and that's why he gets all those ground ball double plays. He's mentioned in the G pitcher scouting report. He's got 68 ground ball double plays since 2009.
Granderson swings. It's a high towering fly ball to right field for Thames. And the right fielder makes the catch for out number 2. Fans, IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. And you will have beautiful HD pictures today. There's a look at the CN Tower, which stands just about across the street here from the Rogers Center.
As clear as a bell here in Toronto. Boy, what a great weekend.
Here's Mark Teixeira, 1 for 9 in the series. He takes the first pitch outside for ball. CN Tower, the tallest freestanding structure in North America. Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike on Teixeira. Teixeira, have you ever been up there?
I never did, and I'm embarrassed to say that. I should have done that when I played up here.
Well, I've got somewhat of a fear of heights. I don't know if I'm going to go. John Flaherty actually has been up there. It was something to watch him repel down the side of the building, too.
I think I remember Flash talking about that, yeah.
2 balls and a strike on Teixeira. 3 more home runs in a Yankee uniform, and he'll have 100 as a Yankee. And he drives one to right field. It's going to send Thames on the run, but he's there, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ricky Romero. Yankees go in order against the all-star left-hander. The Blue Jays are coming to the plate. And this is the Blue Jays starting lineup. He'll face, presented by HP. At the top, the very speedy Rajai Davis. He'll be in center. Eric Thames back in the lineup tonight. He left last night's game with cramping in his hamstring, but he's in there. Yunel Escobar will be at short. Adam Lynn will be at first base. Edwin Encarnacion as the designated hitter. Aaron Hill will be at second. Batting seventh is Travis Snyder, the left fielder. The rookie J.P. Arancibia will do the catching. And playing third base and batting ninth is John McDonald.
Talk about an ace. Yeah, there's an ace right there. I don't know about the bird, but this guy's definitely an ace. On 20 starts on the year, 13-4 at the break. First start after the break. Great ERA, great numbers down the horn, 35 walks, 126 strikeouts. And the G pitcher scouting report, he is the stopper. He's 7-2 with a 3.49 ERA directly after a Yankee loss. That's what they're looking for him to do this time, and he is streaking. We talked about his scoreless streak, 23 2/3 shutout innings running, and strikeout run as well. He struck out 9, 13, 11, and 9 over his last 4 starts, 31 2/3 innings.
Rajai Davis takes the first pitch from Sabathia outside for ball 1. His last start, his final pitch of the game was a strikeout, and it was 98 miles an hour just to finish things off. That's high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. It was one of those ball games when he got 2 strikes on the final hitter. It was reach for the car keys. It's time to go. The 2-0 pitch to Davis, and that is in there for a call strike. Last start, of course, against the Tampa Bay Rays, and it was a tight one. Battle with James Shields. The Yankees and CC won it 1-0. Complete game effort, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. 2-1 pitch remains outside, and the count goes to 3-1. Sabathia coming off that effort in which he threw 113 pitches. 79 of them were strikes. Davis taking all the way, and he takes a blazer in there for call strike 2, and the count is now full of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Davis will be followed by Thames and Escobar for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the first. Payoff pitch is on the way, and it's outside, ball 4. So a leadoff walk to a very speedy runner. Time now for the Yankees defense, presented by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Jones, Gardner, and Swisher in the outfield. Nunez, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira around the infield. Cervelli doing the catching as he usually does for CC Sabathia this afternoon. Now Davis is on. He's got 24 stolen bases on the year. And there he goes, and he's in there. That's stolen base number 25. Davis doesn't react to the ball going into center field, which was backed up by Brett Gardner. He didn't waste any time. He took off on first movement and picks up a stolen base.
Well, indeed he does. You see, almost a la Ricky Henderson, on the move, always moving. Great job. You see Cervelli tries to throw from his knees because he sees the jump that Rajai Davis gets, and Jeter with the short hop can't come up with it. And actually right behind, Cano does a good job with a little deke, acting like he almost caught the ball, but Davis with a hard slide couldn't get off the bag.
The pitch was ball 1 to Thames, and he hits a high towering fly ball to left field for Andruw Jones. Davis is tagging out, but he's not going to head to third as the ball is thrown back into the infield, and there is one down. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea, and I'll tell you, you can't get much better than today here in Toronto as far as the weather is concerned. 86 degrees, 51% humidity, the wind at 6 miles per hour, and as I mentioned, for the 3rd consecutive day, the roof is open here in Toronto, and the fans are sun splashed, and we have an excellent crowd here again. Yunel Escobar is having a great series offensively and defensively, and the first pitch is outside, ball 1. Right away you see Robinson Cano set up near second base. He's going to try and hold Davis as close as possible. Davis, a definite stolen base threat. Timeout is called by Cano. He wants to go and talk to Sabathia, and it probably has something to do with Davis at second base. Was there anything you did differently, Coney, when you had a runner like, say, a Ricky Henderson on in your day?
You know, I wasn't very good at holding runners on, so I just tried to forget about them, get it over with, go ahead and steal. But no, more seriously, you really do got to just hold the ball a little bit. Don't let him do that. Try to get a jump and running lead on you.
CC turns, no throw to second.
Make the base runner stop before you deliver the ball to home.
I was talking to manager John Farrell before the game, and we had mentioned that the Blue Jays have kind of thoroughly outplayed the Yankees in the first 2 games of the series, and that includes base running. They've been very aggressive. Pitches outside for a ball. It's 2-0 on Escobar. That led to a throwing error last night, and Blue Jays added dimension this year. Last year they're more station to station, just laying back for the home runs. They led the league in homers. This year they're 3rd in homers, but they've scored 23 runs in this series without the benefit of a home run. Davis looked like he was ready to go, but CC steps off, and the crowd here is loving it. There's a new dimension to this Blue Jays ball club.
Well, Davis is an excellent base runner, and he does take his cue from Ricky Henderson. Never trying to start from a dead stop, always trying to keep moving, get a jump, sort of a running lead.
Look at Cano, well out of position. Pitch to Escobar is in there for a call strike. Cano is more like a first baseman trying to hold Davis at second. Davis now with 25 steals. He's been caught 9 times. Cano's closer to the bag than he is. There he goes. The pitch is lined past Cano into center for a base hit. And here comes Davis with the first run of the ball game as the Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead. So the stolen base pays off.
Well, the other side of this is that when you get a distraction on the base pass, you end up making mistakes into your #1 priority, which is the hitter. And Escobar takes advantage. You see on a 2-1 fastball, right up and out over the plate, and chuck and duck. And Escobar, who came in hit .348 against left-handed batters, will go up from there, and he's got an RBI.
He is now 6 for 10 in this series. The Blue Jays have been swinging the bats well. Adam Lynn takes a pitch for a call strike. In fact, the Jays have had 10 straight games in which they've had at least 10 hits in a ball game. Lynn's had 3 hits in this series. He's 3 for 9, swings and misses, doesn't get that one, and the count is 0-2. So the leadoff walk comes back to haunt Sabathia and the Yankees as the Blue Jays jump out in front 1-0. And in their last 11 games, the Yankees have been outscored 14-0 in the first inning, including the run today. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Linda's out of there. One thing about Sabathia, he's been rough on left-handed hitters this year. They're hitting just 194 against them. And that was his first run allowed in his last 24 innings. That breaks his string.
Well, this is why he's so tough on lefties. You see that slider, how far it ends up outside? It looked like a strike right till the last minute and broke about 1.5 feet off the plate.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion. He's the DH today, and he's swinging at the first pitch. He doesn't let many go by and fouls it off for strike 1. He too has had a good series against the Yankees. We mentioned the Blue Jays 31 hits in the first 2 games. Encarnacion 4 for 6, but more importantly, he's been on base 7 times. So this is the club that Sabathia is going to have to try and slow down in this third game of the series. Line drive, twisting foul down the third base side. Escobar had rounded second, and he was headed for third. And he's going to have to head back to first base. Sabathia's had a good record in his career against Toronto, 10-3. And he beat the Blue Jays on May 24th at Yankee Stadium. Complete game effort. But the offense kind of bailed them out. The Yankees got 2 runs in the 8th and 2 in the 9th to come away with a 5-4 win. Swing and a miss. And that is strike 3. So 2 strikeouts. But the Blue Jays pick up a run here at the bottom of the first. As we head to the second, The Yankees trail by a single run. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. Its question is, which of these statistics should carry the most weight in determining Cy Young Award winners? You can text your vote to 58772. And here are your choices today. Wins, ERA, wins above replacement, or adjusted earned run average. Now, I know a lot about the first two. It's the last two that might need some explanation. Here's Cano, and he takes the first pitch from Romero in there for a strike. Wins above replacement?
That wins above the WAR, wins above replacement value is sort of, you know, how much better you would do than your average replacement player. Say your average 4A player or AAA player or whoever they could bring up the next guy in line in the minor leagues. Is how much better are you than that replacement player?
An adjusted ERA?
Adjusted ERA is adjusted for a lot of factors, including within the context of the league average year to year. There are all sorts of factors you could factor in, the ballpark factors
that you pitch in.
Yes, you know, it could get very complicated at times, but I think that the whole gist of it is to compare within the context of the league average year to year, as opposed to comparing to Bob Gibson in 1969 or Babe Ruth back in 1923.
Foul ball off the bat of Cano. It's 1-2. These are some of the statistics that they're getting into now, and it's not just wins and ERA. If that were the case, CC Sabathia might have won the Cy Young Award last year because he had the most wins, and he had pretty good ERA as well.
There's no doubt that the sports writers that vote for all of the awards, including MVP and Cy Young, are using these sorts of statistics more and more.
Sabermetricians. That pitch is low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cano, who'll be followed by Swisher and Jones for the Yankees here in the second, as they trail 1-0 against the Toronto Blue Jays. There is Swisher on deck. Full count now as Ricky Romero goes the distance in the count against Robinson Cano. Romero out of Cal State Fullerton. He was on the 2004 national championship team. In fact, had a critical win against the University of Texas. The next year, Cal State Fullerton went to the College World Series again. They didn't win it the next year, but Romero was on that team as well. The payoff pitch, and Cano grounds it foul. Romero majored in kinesiology, which is, I guess, the study of the movement of the human body. You remember Mike Marshall?
Yes.
He had a degree in kinesiology.
He was one of the first ones in Major League Baseball, as far as players go, to start getting into those sorts of theories.
He was my teammate in Montreal, and was one of the best closers. I think he has the all-time record for innings pitched by a reliever in the season. Cano chases a bad pitch and strikes out. Underneath the hands and inside, but Cano, trying to be too quick, swings and misses.
Well, you can see why Romero is so difficult to handle. Look at the run, you know, down and in. 2-seam rotation. The next thing you know, it just ties Cano up. It ends up off the plate, almost in the batter's box, and Cano had already committed.
Well, it looks easy to hit on Yesmo, doesn't it?
You can really see that 2-seam rotation and that sinking, running action.
Here's Nick Swisher, who's had 3 hits and 9 trips in the series, then swings at the first pitch and pops it foul over the Yankee dugout and back into the seats for strike 1. 10 home runs for Swish, 49 runs batted in. Going to the shades today on this sunny day in Toronto. 0-1 pitch, and he's quick. Ripped foul. Take a good look at these sunglasses. Stylish too. Eye black. He's not taking any chances with the sun today. The 0-2 pitch, and that is low for a ball. Ball and 2 strikes on Nick Swisher.
See, that right-handed stat really jumps out at you. Yeah. Almost over 100 points higher batting right-handed.
But the left-handed has been coming up lately. There's a pitch low. One thing that Swisher's always done, he's run deep counts. And it helps the other hitters. They get a chance to see the offerings of the other pitcher, opposing pitcher, plus the fact tire guys out. Count is 2-2 here. And it's driven to center field. Davis is going to have to go back. He's got speed, reaching out. He can't get it. The ball takes one hop off the turf and over the center field wall for a ground rule double. Even the speed of Rajai Davis. He looked to hesitate for just a moment. And we all know he who hesitates is lost.
Indeed. And that, this ball jumps off the bat. Listen, right on the button. Swisher knows that he's out of the box. He says he's going to get over his head. The ball right about this point, that's what Kenny's talking about, a little hesitation. That ball just took off. That's what happens when you hit it on the button with a little backspin, like a four-seam fastball. It takes off, got a little hop on it, and Davis can only watch it bounce over the wall.
18th double of the year for Nick Swisher. And it'll bring up Andrew Jones. Jones has 2 hits this month. Both of them are home runs. They came in the opening game of this series. He takes the first pitch for a strike. Usually for an outfielder, the line drive directly at you is the toughest play to make. There's no angle to go after the ball, and you have one false step and you're lost. The ball's going to get over your head. This ball is driven over third. It's going to be in there at least for a base hit. Swisher easily will score from second, and Andrew Jones has his 3rd hit of the month and the first one he's kept in the ballpark. It's an RBI single for Jones, and quickly, just like that, the Yankees have tied the ball game.
Well, Andrew Jones likes Toronto. He gets that Ricky Romero changeup that he leaves down and in. You can see the long swing from Andrew Jones. A little out in front, but certainly enough to get a double out of it. And Swisher comes across the plate. We got a tie Wago.
So Jones at first with a single will bring up Brett Gardner, who's had the best series as far as the Yankees is concerned. He's 4 for 8. And his average has jumped up to 272. He's got Jones at first with 1 out. Romero deals, and that one misses for a ball. I thought Romero came very close to balking there. He didn't have much of a pause before he delivered the ball. And you have to take a distinct pause, and the umpires, if you continue, they can call a balk. It might be something to watch for the rest of the game. Now there's a pause there. That pitch is low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Joe Girardi giving signs to third base coach Robbie Thompson. The throw gets away at first. Jones will not be able to advance, as Aaron Hill's going to back up the plate. Ball didn't get away far enough. There's been a lot of talk about signs in this series. We're going to talk a little bit later to Kim Jones about what's been going on, stealing signs. The Yankees not happy with maybe some of the antics of the Blue Jays in this first 2 games of this series. Kim will fill us in a little later on in the game. Pitch to Gardner, and he swings it, fouls it back. Had a good rip at that one. And the count is 2-0.
One way to take care of the signs is make better pitches. Get guys out, Quality pitching takes care of everything. Quality of the location of the pitch.
Earlier this season, Brett Gardner touched up Ricky Romero for a grand slam home run at Yankee Stadium. But this time, he rips one towards the corner in right field. Thames is going to run it down, but the ball is going to get to the wall. Andrew Jones will be stopped at third, and the Yankees continue to hit Romero well here in the 2nd inning. 2nd double of the inning, and this one is for Brett Gardner, who is now 5 for 9 in this series.
Wow. Brett Gardner breaking out the tomahawk. Up and in. The tomahawk chop. Well, that's a tough pitch to get to. Brett Gardner looks at it, gets it. Andrew Jones sees it. Going to pick up the third base coach right now.
So 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. It'll bring up Eduardo Nunez, the third baseman. Yankees with a chance to take the lead here in the 2nd inning. Nunez takes the first pitch, a little bit inside for a ball. There are his numbers on the year. He's had a couple of hits in the first 2 games. Little chopper, Jones is going to try and score from third. He will, as Nunez is thrown out, and the Yankees take a 2-1 lead. Going on contact, the ball was to the left of the third baseman. Quick decision by Jones. Nunez picks up a run batted in it. It's 2-1 Yankees.
Nunez gets the job done right off the plate. The high hop and the second hop off the turf gives enough time for Jones to easily score.
You were taught to take a walking lead at third base, land on your right foot, and if you feel you can make it, you push off and continue on. If the pitch is taken for a ball, you push back off your right foot and head to third base. A walking lead, give you a little momentum and spring into action. And that's what Jones did, and he scored. Here's Cervelli. Number 9 hitter has to jump back out of the way, and it's ball 1. Here's Andrew Jones taking his walking lead. Maybe doesn't carry the mail quite as fast as he used to, but still got there in plenty of time to deliver the second run. So now Brett Gardner's at third, and there are 2 outs for Cervelli. Inside ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. I was talking to Cervelli about catching CC Sabathia, and he said something very interesting. He said Sabathia very rarely shakes him off. He just executes the pitch that I call. He said he's easy to catch.
One of the easiest in the big leagues to catch, too, and he's always around the target wherever you put that glove.
2-0 pitch is fouled off, and it's 2-1.
There's a lot to be said for that style, you know. It takes the burden off of the pitcher's mind as to what to call or pitch sequences or patterns. And it also allows you just to concentrate on execution, as Kenny said. And Andy Pettitte, the great left-handed Yankee, was much like that. And another lefty who's had a pretty good career out with the White Sox, Mark Burley, also employs that style.
2-1 pitch, broken bat, roll to third. It's going to be a foul ball. And I think Cervelli's going to need another bat. That might have gotten in on his hands. Looks like he's not asking for one, so maybe he didn't break the bat. He certainly didn't hit it very well.
Ricky Romero really trying to pound Cervelli in this at bat consistently. 3 times, 4 times in a row. Fastballs or sliders in. That's kind of been the theme of the Blue Jays pitching staff for the first 3 games, is pound these Yankee hitters inside.
Full count now on Cervelli. Yankees forcing Romero to work. He's up to 36 pitches. Cervelli going with the sunglasses.
Second night in a row that the Yankees have faced a #1 draft pick. Last night, Brandon Morrow was the first pick in the 06 draft. Romero, the first pick in the 05 draft.
25 pitches this inning for Ricky Romero. Now the 26th is ball 4. Cervelli has drawn a walk. And that pitch count will continue to elevate here in the second. First walk of the game handed out by Ricky Romero. So runners at first and third, turns over the lineup for Derek Jeter. Gets a nice round of applause.
I should say first round draft choices. Brandon Morrow was the 5th pick in the nation in the first round, and Ricky Romero was the 6th pick in the nation in the first round in 2005.
Jeter grounded to short his first time up. Takes a pitch for a called strike. Morrow was picked by the Mariners and eventually traded to the Blue Jays. He had a good night last night.
Yes, he did. There's a reason why they're drafted in the first round. You see their stuff and their arms, and the type of velocity and movement does not lie.
Cervelli's on the move. There's no throw to second, and he will steal it standing up. That's his 4th stolen base without being caught. I'll tell you what, Yankee catchers hold their own in the stolen base department. Russell Martin is 7-1. Cervelli's now 4-0. I don't think there's any catching tandem in the major leagues that can claim that sort of stolen base success rate.
You can see there the Blue Jays just almost conceding. Nobody covering.
1-1 on Jeter. And he tied up. It pitch in on the hands, and he fouls it back. Romero, 94-mile-an-hour fastball to go along with a good changeup and good breaking ball. He's too, like Morrow, has good stuff. something to work with out there on the mound. And when he's not on, it's usually because his control is off, and he has to rely too much on his fastball.
Yeah, he gets a little excitable on the mound, still relatively young. Very anxious, especially against the beast in the East. Against New York and Boston, he's only 5-8 with a 6.5 ERA in his career.
Jeter swings and misses, strike 3. Looked like a changeup, and the Yankees will leave 2 men in scoring position. But they do pick up 2 runs. At the end of 1.5, there's your changeup. It's 2-1 Yankees. Center stage with Michael Kay. The Brooklyn native chronicles his successful stage and screen career, including his portrayal of Billy Martin. And catch a new center stage next Wednesday when All-Pro linebacker Ray Lewis. It's Center Stage, and it's only on Yes. Ray Lewis, All-Pro, going to be a Hall of Famer one day. Speaking of a Hall of Famer one day, CC Sabathia on the mound for the Yankees. Let's see how he reacts to now having the lead at 2-1. Hill, Snyder, and Aaron Sibia for the Blue Jays. And the first pitch to Aaron Hill, maybe a little downstairs, and it's ball 1. Hill had a good night on the bases last night, despite the fact he didn't have any hits. He had back-to-back stolen bases, led to a throwing error and a run scored for the Jays. That pitch is high, 2 balls and a strike. This is one of those innings now. Yankees have taken the lead. Now you have to throw a 0 up on the scoreboard. If you're CC Sabathia.
CC hasn't really dialed in his command as of yet. His fastball's been up a little bit. Very not like we've seen over the past few starts.
There's a strike, and it's fouled off. 93 miles an hour on the fastball. Last 8 pitchers with as many wins before turning 31 as Sabathia, his birthday's coming up, are all Hall of Famers. CC with 170 career wins. Look at those names. Outside, 3-1. Those names: Bob Feller, Hal Newhouser, Robin Roberts, Don Drysdale, Juan Marichal, Ferguson Jenkins, Jim Palmer, and Catfish Hunter. Hill, broken bat, fly ball to left field. Going to be a long run for Andrew Jones. Still coming on, and he gets there. Long run for Andrew Jones. Maybe doesn't get there quite as quickly, but he sure has his sure hands. He still has his sure hands and his strong throwing arm.
Well, he's humping. He is humping, getting there. The ball's hanging just enough. Those loping strides.
At one time, you might have considered him the best center fielder in the game with the Atlanta Braves. He won 10 consecutive Gold Gloves as a member of the Atlanta Braves in center field. Here's Travis Snyder, the left fielder for the Jays, swinging at the first pitch and fouls it back.
You know, and in front of him were a couple of 300-game winners, and Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. And they loved Andrew Jones in center field. They raved about how many runs he saved them over their careers. That guy right there was one of the best in center. Now playing left.
Consider him a corner outfielder now. Bouncing ball, one big hop to Eduardo Nunez. Plenty of time, and an accurate throw, and there's 2 up and 2 down here in the second. Fans, take the Yankees with you when you travel out of the Yankees' home territory. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see the Yankees live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Tony, I just came back off a vacation. To Ocean City, Maryland, Cape May, New Jersey. Had my iPad with me. Check out the Yankees wherever I went. It was awesome. First pitch to Aaron Sibia is fouled back to the screen. Modern technology.
It's great.
It's a beautiful thing. HD picture quality. The 0-1 pitch, and it's fouled, tipped into the glove of Cervelli for strike 2. Of course, my wife said, can you get away from it? I said, yeah, I got to keep up. There's some modern technology. The 0-2 pitch, and it's a little bit high to Aaron Sibia. A ball with 2 strikes. I go back further than you, David. I remember having to check out the late afternoon newspapers to find out what happened on the West Coast game. The morning editions didn't have the final scores. The 1-2 pitch, and it's hit in the air, popped up to second. Now you can watch those games. As Cano makes the catch for the final out. CC does throw up a 0. 1, 2, 3. The Blue Jays go in order. On the Lincoln scoreboard, it's 2-1 Yankees. Granderson facing a left-handed pitcher today, and Ricky Romero. And Granderson continues to lead the major leagues in home runs and runs batted in against lefties with 9 homers and 25 runs batted in. But his last 8 home runs are against right-handers. Takes one low for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So it's been a while since he's connected against a left-handed pitcher. In fact, that's been since May 31st when he homered against Brett Anderson of the Oakland A's. The 2-0 pitch, and that is ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Romero falls behind the first hitter in the top of the 3rd inning, and you can bet Granderson's going to be taking here. 3-0 pitch, taking all the way, and it's a 4-pitch walk to get things started for the Yankees in the 3rd. While we have a chance here, let's check out the upcoming schedule brought to you by Excella Express. Enjoy the journey. Today and then tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees will take on the Blue Jays here at Rogers Center, an afternoon ball game. Then the Yankees will fly south. They're headed for Tampa Bay. The next 4 ball games will be against the Rays, all starting at 7:10 before they return home, take on the Oakland A's at Yankee Stadium.
Right. Don't worry, though. We got the A-team going to Tampa. Me and Singy. We're going to stay with you.
First pitch to Teixeira's outside for a ball. Might be a little more humid down in Tampa. Or in the Tampa Bay area, we should say, because we'll be in St. Pete. The 1-0 pitch, and Teixeira takes it for a call strike, and it's 1-1. Inside. 2 balls and a strike.
When you look at Romero's numbers compared to Sabathia, you know, we anticipated a pitcher's duel coming into this game. You know, one of the big numbers that jumps out is run support. About 3 runs difference. Sabathia at 6.9 runs of support per game. Romero just 3.9 runs of support, which would explain his 7-8 record.
It also might explain the fact that he was reprimanded somewhat for speaking out about the lack of run support. You don't want to alienate the hitters on your own ball club. Because they'll tell you, go out there and shut somebody out every once in a while.
That's right. I mean, things are better left in-house than speaking through the media or complaining about anything that happens on the field.
He quickly apologized, and it's water under the bridge right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Teixeira. Swing and foul tip into the glove of Aaron Sibian, and Romero picks up his 3rd strikeout. All 3 of the swinging variety.
You see Romero once again, a Blue Jay pitcher pounding a Yankee hitter inside, and a quality pitch, almost a little cut to this 4-seam fastball. You can see a little boring action boring in on Teixeira and tying him up.
Best thing to do as a hitter is to look in there and crush one foul, and that'll remind the pitcher, you better think of something else, and quickly. There's a throw to first to check on Granderson. Every once in a while, I knew a team was trying to pound me in. I'd go up looking. When I got that first pitch in, either I was going to drive it down the line fair or pull it foul. And I like the ball out over the plate, like most hitters do. And that would kind of force them away from that spot.
Just go up there and look for the ball in.
Step off move, throw the first to check on Granderson. A little different look for Curtis. He got back safely.
First baseman Keith Hernandez with the Mets, when I was with him as a teammate, used to talk about that. Looking for a pitch in. When you see a pitcher pounding you in, you maybe cheat in the batter's box and look in and try to launch it.
Timeout is called. Cano now 3 for 10 in the series after striking out his first time up. Leads the Yankees with 15 hits this month. And as usual, that has been the during the course of his career, he's hitting better on the road, over 300. Line drive. This ball is drilled on the ground. Thames will cut it off the whole Cano to a single, but Granderson will make it all the way to third. So Cano with his 4th hit of the series, and the Yankees are in business again here in the 3rd inning.
Well, you see how much he misses the target. Aaron Sebia is sitting up outside. He's got to reach all the way across his body. Robinson Cano down and in, way out in front. Look at that bat head, way out in front of home plate, right down the line. 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
Got a beautiful swing, as you saw on display in the home run derby. I should mention he won it. Here's Swisher, who doubled and scored his first time. Ground rule double, 1 hop over the center field wall in the 2nd inning. Takes a pitch for a call strike over the outside corner. Yankees leading 2-1. They're threatening for more here in the top of the 3rd. Swisher with a chance to drive in a run from third base with less than 2 outs. That pitch is high for a ball, and it's 1-1. Swisher has been as good as, well, he's the best on the team in these situations. 19 out of 21 times he has gotten a runner in from third base with less than 2 outs. That's 90% of the time. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Might foul tip it, but that's strike 2. The next closest to him is Russell Martin at 71%. 70% is good. 90% is phenomenal. The 1-2 pitch is laced foul down the right field side. The count remains a ball and 2 strikes on Nick Swisher.
Talked about Romero looking for a ground ball here. This is where that changeup he throws is so effective, and he's gotten a lot of ground ball double plays. Looking for another one here with Swisher. Swisher just fought off a good changeup right there. See if they come right back with it, because that's his ground ball pitch.
No, this pitch is hit high in the air to left field. Coming over is Snyder. Does he have room? Nope, he runs out of room. It's a foul ball. That ball was deep enough for a sacrifice fly, but it became a souvenir. If you're Joe Girardi, you might have been hoping for that ball to stay in play.
They try to pound him in again, get that fastball in there. He doesn't get it in enough. Leaves it on the plate just enough, and Swisher just a little out in front.
There's the effort of Snyder. Almost caught down. Well, he did catch it on the rebound. Throw to first. Cano had a short lead.
Well, the thing about Romero's changeup that's so effective, it's a little different. It's not really a circle change. It's not really a split change. It's almost like a palm ball or a slip pitch. Very hard to pick up, and late diving movement on it.
Swisher takes one in the dirt and levels the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Time is called as we're going to exchange baseballs.
See here, his fingers are together. I think this is more of the curveball. You see the wrist turnover and the rotation. This is more of his hard slider curveball, right in front of home plate, right off of the catcher's neck. That's a good place to miss with your curveball. Down. See if he goes right back to the changeup to try to get that ground ball.
He went back to it, but he missed. Swisher wouldn't bite. The count has run full at 3-2.
See the movement on that changeup. It's not like a straight change or a circle change like Sabathia throws, and he's got more splitter action. You see that grip, almost a claw grip. You see that tumbling action, almost acts like a splitter, but it's more of a slip pitch or a palm ball.
Cano's got that going, and the 3-2 pitch is in there for call strike 3. Swisher called out on strikes. Strikeout in a big situation for Ricky Romero.
Well, he snaps off a dandy right there. Big breaking hook. Locks up Swisher.
That was nasty.
See the fingers together. Watch the wrist turn over. Look at that rotation. Up, up. Ooh. Big hump in that pitch.
This is his best curveball of the afternoon. And on a 3-2 pitch, here's Andrew Jones, who singled and scored last inning. Takes one up and in for a ball. So one of the rare times that Nick Swisher does not get that runner in from third base.
He got worked over pretty good there.
The 1-0 pitch, and Jones takes it for a call strike. Now the pitch that Swisher got to hit, he pulled it foul. Two outs, runners at first and third. In the dirt, ball gets away from Aaron Sebia. Cano running to second. They have him in a rundown. Here comes Granderson for the plate. The throw is high. Granderson will score, and the Yankees now lead 3-1. And on that throw, the ball went into the Blue Jays dugout or into the stands, and Cano's going to be allowed to go to third base. So one of the rare fielding miscues for the Blue Jays in this series. They've made some tremendous defensive plays, but not here.
Well, we'll see Cano a little aggressive on the read. Gets hung out to dry, and this is Curtis Granderson. Take the shot, 2 outs. Excellent job by Granderson. Good throw, probably would have had him, but you really need to force the issue. Great job, Granderson. Take the shot, force him to make the throw. Just stole a run.
Now that might have been a set play. Every once in a while you see that runner take off from first base, get in a rundown, and force the issue with the defense with 2 outs. Maybe not. Jones with a bouncing ball foul. It's going to be a wild pitch and an E4.
To see, that was the old Billy Martin play. You know, it actually would happen when the pitcher was still holding the ball. The runner would take off from first and almost fall down halfway. Try to create a distraction. The runner from third can race home. That was off of a sort of a pitch in the dirt.
Outside to Jones, and the count is full at 3-2.
That Billy Martin, he was a trickster.
Yeah.
He was something else. As a manager, both as a player and a manager.
You know, sometimes they'll have the runner at first get picked off, fall down, make the pitcher run at you, or give the ball up, and then one of the infielders has to make a throw. You have to have a speedy runner at third, though. Bouncing ball to short. Cut off by McDonald. The third baseman has it, throws on the first in time. Jones is retired, but the Yankees pick up a run on 1 hit and 1 error and leave a runner.
Hurt you, and a lot of times they're doubles and home runs. It's just not singles. So, you know, CC has been on a roll, and we need to keep it that way.
Well, Joe Girardi talking about his ace left-hander CC Sabathia, once again it's time to bring on our ace, Kim Jones. and Kim, Joe had some interesting things to say about his big left-hander before the ball game today.
He did, Kenny, and Joe was asked if he thought about keeping CeCe on regular rest. He certainly could have started him last night, and Joe saying from here on out we're going to rely on him heavily every 5 days. He wanted to give him an extra day, and given how the first 2 games of this series went, he is the perfect guy on the mound for Joe Girardi today.
Well, he also talked about the fact the Yankees need to improve their defense.
Yeah, that was at the top of the list, and I'm sure he likes the offense so far as well, getting a few runs on the board for the big fella.
John McDonald leading it off and fouls the pitch off.
Yeah, Kim, also there was a lot of talk about the meetings with Russell Martin and the pitchers throughout the first 2 games, and about possible sign stealing, gamesmanship going on, and Joe had something to say about that, didn't he?
He did, David, and it has been a conversation after Thursday night's game and also yesterday as well. But today Joe Girardi mentioned having to protect their signs and said sometimes we have inclinations that things are happening in certain ballparks. He went on to say,
as we see an error on a wild throw from Eduardo Nunez, he's got a team leading 12 errors now. And Girardi talked about needing to improve the defense. We just talked about it. And McDonald is safe on a throwing error.
We did indeed, Kenny. And just to continue on what Joe said, he emphasized we have to protect our signs. And he went on to say, I've told the guys there are certain things you have to do in certain ballparks. With Joe using the words certain ballparks, he was asked if he's suggesting the Blue Jays might be doing something off the field of play in terms of obtaining signs. Joe's response, could be. He went on to say, I'm not 100% certain of anything, but if it is that they are getting signs from somewhere besides a player on the field, I do have issues with that. I asked Joe Girardi, are you accusing Toronto of doing that? His response, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but we have to be smart. You have to take pride in that, and you have to be willing to change things up.
Well, that's very interesting because in the first game, this has been going on for the first 2 days. It's not only yesterday. And it was Russell Martin, as this ball was fouled on the right field side, who thought he caught the Blue Jays picking up signs either from second base. But now this is a different aspect, Kim. And the Yankees are thinking that the Blue Jays might be cheating some other way. There's one thing about gamesmanship, another thing about cheating.
Well, and Russell Martin, Kenny, I believe you picked it up during the game Thursday. Most of us simply talked to Russell after the game Thursday when he mentioned it. It has become a storyline, and the New York media did approach John Farrell, manager of the Blue Jays, about Joe Girardi's comments today. Farrell looked stunned when he was asked about it. He said, honestly, I don't have any idea where that would be stemming from. I have no idea what that might be referring to. John Farrell went on to note, we're fighting to be 500 at home. Indeed, the Toronto Blue Jays are 21-22 in this ballpark. His inference being, if they're doing something here to steal signs, you would think the record would be better than that.
This could be, too, as Cano throws to first and the Yankees complete the double play. So the error, no harm thus far. But David, as Kim is talking about, this could be counterproductive for the Yankees as well.
Yeah, I really think so, Kim. You know, in terms of with Freddie Garcia in that one inning, he ended up walking 4 guys on his outing, but he really looked like he was distracted. When you have that sort of distraction as a pitcher, you're worried about signs, you're worried about whether it's on the field or off the field. It really becomes counterproductive for me, and it looked like they talked themselves into a jam, and I think Freddie Garcia was clearly affected by it.
David, certainly you know that better than I, but Freddie and Russell Martin admitted last night they had trouble getting into a rhythm. Another point Joe Girardi made today was you have to be able to change the signs without always walking to the mound.
Well, Kim, a lot of information there, starting with CC Sabathia, moving on to the sign stealing, the possible sign stealing here in Toronto. We'll look forward to seeing you on the postgame show.
Thank you, Kenny and David.
All right, thank you. CC Sabathia, following the error by McDonald reaching base, comes back with a double play ball to the Speedy Davis, and now has Thames at the plate with a count of 1-1. Yankees leading 3-1 here at the bottom of the third inning. Pitch is fouled off by Thames, who flew out to left field his first time up. You know, one thing about John Farrell's reaction is very interesting. I mean, he was kind of stunned. Manager of the Blue Jays. To me, that's something you might say something to the league before you let it get out to be public that you think the opposition is, actually cheating.
It's a bit confusing to me.
As Thames has struck out, that's going to do it for the Blue Jays. We can come back to this a little bit later on. But meanwhile, CC Sabathia throws another 0 on the board here in the bottom of the third inning. It's on to the fourth with the Yankees in front by 2. Play at least one season with Toronto. Who are the other 4? We'll have the answer for you in the bottom half of the inning. Brett Gardner takes a pitch from Romero inside for ball 1. Yankees leading 3-1. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Gardner ripped his 14th double of the year and his 5th hit of this series back in the 2nd inning. And he takes a pitch for a strike, 1-1. Wow, that's a good question. I know a few of them, but I don't think I know all of them. Everybody's got their thinking caps on at home. Or in this case, in this day and age, you might be watching the game on the beach. Who knows?
We need Brian Rucco up here. We need to bring him on the road. our research and stats guy, and now radio star.
Gardner fouls a pitch back and out of play. Two balls and two strikes on Gardner. Bottom third of the order for the Yankees here in the fourth inning. Facing Ricky Romero. That's a great name for a pitcher, or just a baseball player in general. The 2-2 pitch. Look out, it's up and in, and the count is run full at 3-2. And his wife is named Lucy.
I was just thinking the same thing. You see the curveball overthrown a little bit. That's the thing about that big curveball. He'll start it right at a left-handed hitter's head and try to break it over the inside corner.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's hit into center field. Little blooper, it's going to fall in front of Davis. And here goes Gardner for second. The throw is not in time. A hustling double for Brett Gardner. That is an artificial surface two-base hit.
Without a doubt. Chopping sand wedge. Watch it check up here and back up. Little check. Got to come get it. Gardner easily in.
Not many runners in this league can do what you're going to see right here.
He wasn't even getting it till right now. Now he's going to get it. And he's got some afterburners. Woo!
Impressive. Second double of the game. Here's Nunez. He's going to square the bunt. He gets it down. It's a good one. Romero's going to have to hustle. He throws the first just in time to get Nunez. On the play, Gardner moves to third. Give Nunez a sacrifice. Two of the fastest Yankees involved on that play. So with one out, Gardner's at third, and the Blue Jays going to bring the infield in with Cervelli coming to the plate. Oh, that was some impressive base running. Cervelli walked and had a stolen base, his fourth of the year. That was in the second inning when the Yankees were scoring their first two runs. Look out, it's inside once again, and it's ball one. Now, Cervelli's a pretty good bunter. The Yankees might want to put a case of small ball, break out a can of small ball this inning.
Every extra run you can give CC Sabathia is almost worth 2 or 3 the way he's throwing the ball.
Swinging a miss on a fastball inside. It's a ball and a strike. Cervelli looking down at Robbie Thompson, who's getting the signs from the bench, and manager Joe Girardi. One of the keys to a squeeze play, the third base coach usually has a verbal sign with the runner at third. He has been nowhere near Brett Gardner. Swinging a miss, strike two, and with 2 strikes, you kind of think that the squeeze is out of the question right now. Romero has thrown all 3 pitches in on Cervelli, trying to make him swing the bat to put the ball in play instead of just laying the bat on the ball. Let's see if he goes back in there again. Looks like the plan. Upstairs, 2-2. It's your situation as a hitter. All these pitches inside, you got to force a pitcher out of it. You've got to hit one, as I said, pull it foul, hit it hard. Comes in there again and strikes him out. So all the pitches were designed to be inside, and Cervelli couldn't do anything with them.
See, 93 miles an hour, fastball down and in. Cervelli right over the top of it, and late.
So 2 down now. Gardner at third base. And Derek Jeter's up there 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Rounded to short, struck out swinging. Little roller, and it's going to be foul. Strike 1 to the Yankee captain. It's good to have that stuff in your arsenal. and you can break it out when you get in trouble.
3 very quality pitches to go to.
Bouncing ball. It's going to be a tough play for Escobar. The long throw is over first, and a run is going to score. It's now 4-1 Yankees. I don't think he would have gotten Jeter. That should be an infield hit and a run batted in, but it's going to be an error tacked on as Jeter will move to second.
He covers a lot of ground around it on the backhand, and Jeter definitely is going to beat that throw. You see the ball's on the way. Jeter's already to first base as the ball gets over the head. Ricky Romero mumbling and grumbling.
Give Jeter a run batted in, and the Yankees another run. Here's Granderson, and he takes a pitch low for a ball. It looked like a quarterback trying to stop the clock. Couldn't find somebody open. Granderson to DH today. As we mentioned earlier, first time ever in his career he's been a designated hitter. He's walked and scored and flied to right. Jeter at second with 2 outs, and that pitch is a called strike, 1-1. Joe Girardi giving Granderson some time off the turf at center field. One pitch hit on the ground to the right side. Lindhass is going to take it himself. Steps on the bag ahead of Granderson. That's going to retire the Yankees here in the 4th inning. But for the 3rd successive inning, the Yankees have gotten on the scoreboard. He was earlier. As we go to our Smokers Quick Line quiz, he is the 5th Hall of Famer to play at least 1 season with the Toronto Blue Jays. Who are the other 4? I know Paul Molitor's on the list. Hey, Ricky Henderson, Dave Winfield, and Phil Niekro are the others.
Phil Niekro got me.
I think he picked up his 300th victory here with the Blue Jays. It was for the Yankees against the Blue Jays. That's how the Jays came into that picture. Here's Escobar leading it off against Sabathia. First pitch is ball 1. Here's offering number 2. That's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. That was over at Exhibition Stadium. You ever play in that ballpark, David?
Just missed it.
Yeah, it's a good thing you did. Pitches in there for a strike.
I remember the snowbanks up behind the outfield walls you used to see in April.
Yeah, you didn't want to come in there in April. Wind whipping off the lake. 2 balls and a strike. Count on Escobar. I played in some weird games in that ballpark. One game was forfeited. Earl Weaver pulled us off the field. We lost the game 24-10. That was another one. 2-1 pitch. And that is in there for a called strike. 2-2.
Why did Earl pull you off the field?
Well, it was raining somewhat, and the Blue Jays bullpen had a tarp, and ours didn't. So Earl thought, it's an advantage. What if I get a pitcher up and he gets hurt warming up? And they did nothing about it. He said, no, we're not going to play. Took us off the field. Went to the clubhouse, and Eddie Murray asked me, do you think we're going to play again? I said, no. Here's the first game ever played. And they wouldn't stop this game. Back in 1977, Doug Ault was a big hero for the Jays, hit 2 home runs that day. You just saw both of them. It was in a snowstorm against the Chicago White Sox. That pitch just missed to Escobar, and CeCe thought he had strike 3. Look at that look on his face. Like, where's this?
Yes. CeCe wants this pitch. Boy, if anything, maybe a tad low, but I don't know. On a slider, that probably came across above the knees, and CeCe motioning with his glove to ask the umpire, where'd that miss? Down? You got that down?
Escobar's had a single in his only at bat. 3-2 pitch. And that is low, and it's ball 4. Leadoff walk here in the 4th inning. Escobar's been a tough out for the Yankees in this series. 2 walks now. Charge to CeCe Sabathia to bring up Adam Lind. think one of the aspects that is not talked about with Sabathia, the fact that he's done a very good job, David, you'll appreciate this, keeping the ball in the ballpark this year. He's only given up 5 home runs. Pitch is a call strike to Lynn, and only one to a left-handed hitter, and it was a brand name, Adrian Gonzalez of the Red Sox. That was May 14th in Yankee Stadium that he took CC deep. Just off the corner, and it's a ball and a strike. Last 6 starts. That's about as good as it gets. 6-0, 1.77, 7 walks, 51 strikeouts, 1 home run allowed, and opponents are hitting, what was it, 225? Pretty darn good. Ball hit on the ground, the right side, and by Cano in the right field for a base hit. Stopping at second is Escobar. He's going to have to dive back in as Swisher gets the ball at the infield. So Lynn picks up a hit with Teixeira holding on the runner.
Well, Lynn's had a resurgent year this year, and you see the slider stays up just enough for Lynn to go out and hook into the hole. And Lynn's resurgent year includes hitting .310 off of left-handers, and there's no better lefties than Sabathia, and he's going to feel pretty good about getting enough of this slider to get it in the hole.
Here comes Encarnacion, who was struck out swinging in the first inning. There's a call strike. CC got a double play ball last inning to help himself out of a jam. Maybe looking for another one right here. Escobar at second, Lind at first, with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch is looped foul down the right field side and into the first row of seats. Sabathia quickly ahead on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. CC looking for his 11th career win against Toronto, against only 3 losses. Swing and a miss, and for the second time, Encarnacion has struck out. 4 strikeouts now for Sabathia.
Sabathia. You see the fingers together. You see the backdoor slider going down. You see the wrist turn over a little bit. You see the ball with a little bit of right to left movement as we look at it. Excellent 0-2 pitch down, almost in the dirt.
Almost, yeah, I was going to say ended up out of the strike zone. Encarnacion chased it. Here's Aaron Hill. Flew out to Andrew Jones in the second. Line drive, and Nunez has it, flips to Cano. It's going to be an easy double play. Well, unconventional double play. Gets CC out of the 4th inning. Blue Jays leave 1 runner. 4-1. Yankees lead at the end of 4. Up. You have to get up to get down. '20 is plenty. Mike Stanton, plenty of power. 2 home runs today. Thanks, Bob, for the update. And here is Mark Teixeira with a ball and a strike here in the top of the 5th. Yankees leading here in Toronto by a score of 4-1 behind CC Sabathia. The Yankees have scored in 3 consecutive innings, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 more in the 4th against Ricky Romero. Teixeira's 0 for 2. Fly to right, struck out. Little bouncing ball, foul, wide of third. Teixeira's average now is dipped under 240. And he hits one down the right field line, and that twist foul just at the very end, a foul ball. Teixeira has had 80 hits on the season. 39 of them are for extra bases. 14 doubles and 25 home runs. Not enough singles to prop that average up.
We've seen him batting right-handed, more inclined to hit the ball the other way. You know, left-handed and definitely more of a dead pull hitter. Batting right-handed this year, 28 for 102, hitting 275.
This is in the air to center field for Davis. who retreats a couple of steps and makes the catch for out number 1. Fans, Yankee Baseball and Yes is brought to you in part by Domino's. Order Domino's. I should say order at Domino's.com and see the progress of your order in real time with Domino's Tracker. By JDR Music and Computer World. And by Mazda. Zoom, zoom. Well, once again, another good crowd. This might be the best of the 3 thus far as attendance is concerned. Beautiful day to come out here. Every section has people seated in it. I don't think it's quite a sellout as Cano takes a ball outside for a ball.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, shades of the early 90s. The Blue Jays were the first team to draw 4 million fans.
They had close to 50,000 a night then in here. Huh?
They averaged 50,000 a night.
Little roller off the end of the bat by Cano. It's going to twist foul, and the count is ball and a strike on the Yankee second baseman, who's 1 for 2. It must have been fun times because they you know, as big as hockey is here in Canada, they said in those days Blue Jays were number 1 in town.
Well, they opened it, then called the Sky Dome back on June 5th, 1989, and it was weathered well. It was just a beautiful structure, one of the first of its kind.
2 balls and a strike to Cano.
Love that name, the Sky Dome. Obviously now the owners changed it, called it the Rogers Center now.
Off the end of the bat, 2-2 on Cano. Rogers, of course, a big cable outfit, coast to coast here in Canada.
A good look at what was once referred to as the Sky Dome. Just a beautiful structure. Really has weathered well. One complaint, and there's nothing you can do about it, is the artificial turf. Yeah. And that's about, you can't grow grass
until they find a way to do it. That's the way it's going to be. 2-2 pitch inside the Cano. The count has gone full at 3-2. Remember when the Astrodome, the first indoor stadium, opened in Houston, they thought they could grow grass indoors. They had those translucent panels. The outfielders had problems following the fly balls, so they had to darken them, and of course there wasn't enough light for the grass to grow. 3-2 pitch to Cano, and it's way high, and it's ball 4. It looked like Romero was out of sorts on that delivery. That is the 3rd walk he has handed out this afternoon to the Yankees. You can tell by his finish on that delivery that wasn't quite sure where that one was going.
Seen him get a little anxious over the last couple of innings, lose his rhythm. Look at the motion and the finish and the spin out on the heel. As you can see, completely all the way around.
Swisher's doubled and struck out. And he swings the first pitch, doesn't get it. Strike 1.
I mentioned this before with Romero. He's one of the best young lefties. You see Swisher on the day, the double and the run. One of the best young lefties in the league, but against Boston and New York, he has struggled. 6.46 ERA collectively against Boston and New York with a 5-8 record.
Ball and a strike to Swisher. He's not the only lefty to struggle against the Red Sox. I mean, CC is 13-4, 3 of those losses to the Boston Red Sox.
Kind of the last hump for a young pitcher to be able to pitch in the American League East and prove you can beat these guys. A big test for him. He's really pumped up for this game.
1-1 pitch, a little roller foul. Robbie Thompson, nice stop. Look for the fan to get the souvenir. Pays to be in the front row. So Swisher behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Ricky Romero pitched well against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium earlier this year in a no decision.
That was close, but it's 2-2 to Swisher. That was a game that the Yankees won 5-4. That was the game that CC got the win. He went all the way.
Yeah, he did. He hung in there. Romero just gave up 1 earned run in 7 innings in that game, and
bullpen couldn't hold it.
Yep, another one of the games that he was in a position to win.
Ball gets away from Aaron Sebian, and Cano can just stroll down to second base on the wild pitch.
98 pitches already here in the top of the 5th. Shows you the kind of the struggle it's been for Romero today, and this is indicative. That changeup way in front of home plate. Really quick with his delivery, short arm that pitch, and it only went about 52 feet.
9 3-ball counts for Romero. That'll lift your pitch count. And one thing, you can look at the 2 bullpens. They're moving around in the Blue Jay bullpen, starting to stretch and do all that sort of thing. Nobody's throwing yet, but they can sense it's going to be somebody's going to be coming in the ball game in a while. The Yankee bullpen, nothing to it. Pitches fouled off the foot of Swisher. And you look at the Yankee pen.
That's confidence.
Yeah, they know who's on the mound today.
That's confidence. They're back in the back. They're watching the British Open probably in the back.
Well, Joe Girardi said they needed length today from CC. That's what they've been getting lately. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Swisher. Calls timeout, steps out.
Well, just to give you an idea of how the game has changed over the last 15 years, Ricky Romero has averaged just 103 pitches per start. That's 15th in the American League. CC Sabathia on the other end has averaged 108 pitches per start, and that's 7th in the American League.
Swisher takes, called, strike 3. The second time in a row he's been called out on strikes, and this time he's going to talk to Todd Tishner about it. 6 strikeouts now for Romero. You make the call.
See Romero right there.
Ooh.
Borderline down, borderline in. Definitely got the plate. It's just a question of down or not.
You know, sometimes when you're a hitter that runs deep counts and has a good eye like Nick Swisher, you get a little on the close ones. You think the call is going to go your way. Now, Joe Girardi coming out to talk to Tishner. He doesn't want to hear anything more from the Yankee dugout. Girardi trying to calm him down and keep Nick Swisher in this ball game.
On the bench, that's what you'd call from an umpire rabbit ears. But umpires have a right to call it off when they've heard enough as well. But a lot of veteran umpires will treat that a little differently. Tishner is more of a young umpire, obviously.
Andrew Jones drives one foul for strike 1.
You don't want to be a young umpire that hears everything from both benches.
Because they'll continue to do it.
Yes. You let it go on. You got to have a thick hide, and then of course you can draw the line when enough is enough.
1 strike on Jones, who's had an RBI single, also scored a run in the second, is grounded out the third, 1 for 2. Got Cano at second with 2 outs, and pitches in the dirt, good stop by the catcher, and it's a ball and a strike on Andrew Jones.
Just to finish that point on pitches per start, as I said, Ricky Romero averages 103 pitches per start. He's going to throw his 103rd here in the top of the 5th. The guy who leads the American League, Justin Verlander from Detroit. To me, just the best pitcher in the American League. He averages 116 pitches per start.
And they asked Jimmy Leland, the manager of the Tigers, about leaving him in ball games to throw up to 130 pitches per game. Jimmy Leland says, I like my job. I'm going to leave him in. He is something to watch.
Yes, he is. And he regularly pitches into the 8th and 9th innings. Leads the league in innings pitched per start, too. I think up close to 7.6 innings per start does Verlander. Still throwing about a 98, too.
Jones takes another pitch in the dirt. Count levels off at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, there was a stretch in my career, Kenny, where I averaged about 135 pitches per start. You know, and that just shows you how the game has changed.
Those days are over.
In the last 15 or so years.
Now let me ask you this: if you'd been monitored a little bit more closely, could you pitch a little longer?
I'm not sure.
Inside, 3-2. Fans now the fans want it to be a called 3rd strike.
Very close.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I mean it's only natural that general managers and baseball executives are going to want to protect their investments. Want talked a lot to Tom Verducci, a sports writer and ESPN analyst who came up with the Verducci rules with young pitchers throwing too many innings too soon and breaking down. There's certainly some validity in that. And I understand about protecting young pitchers, but as far as pitch counts go, I think they could push it a little longer here and there with certain pitchers.
3-2 pitch is rolled foul. It all starts in the minor leagues. And one thing that Nolan Ryan is doing in Texas, he's kind of reversing the trend. He wants his pitchers to stay out there longer. Almost like he did. Maybe not quite to that extent.
This is a situation where it's easy to read with Romero. When you have 106 pitches in the top of the fifth, you know it's a struggle. He's laboring. He's not real sharp.
Swing and a miss as Jones strikes out on a changeup. That'll leave Cano at second. The Yankees do not score here in the fifth, but they do lead it 4-1 over the Toronto Blue Jays. Ricky Romero, Ricky's, as David said, has kind of reached his limit. The bullpen is going, so it appears that Ricky Romero's day is done as Travis Snyder takes the first pitch low from CC Sabathia here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
He had good stuff. He had 7 strikeouts, but 3 walks, a lot of pitches, a couple of errors behind him did not help.
It was an old school Yankee attack. Wear him down. Pitches is fouled off by Snyder. That's a 1-1 count on the Blue Jays left fielder. In fact, broke his back. Fans' copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. CC Sabathia with a 3-run lead, bottom of the fifth inning. CC wins today. It'll be 14 wins on the season. Ball is popped up to the right side. Cano down the first base line will make the catch. And there is one out as Snyder pops up to the second baseman. Fans, tomorrow don't miss a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper discusses his time off during the All-Star break, including his preparation for the second half of the season. Plus, Joe looks ahead in an inspiring Yankees tradition, Hope Week 2011. It's all new. Joe Girardi Show tomorrow at 5, only on Yes. Skipper going to the shaves today. Aaron Sibia can't get a changeup. Swings and misses. Strike one. We're talking about Sabathia's record of 13-4. His 13 wins and 2.72 ERA are both career best through his first 20 starts of the season. So if he continues on this pace, he might have a career year. His career's been pretty good thus far. This ball is hitting the air towards center field. Lazy fly ball for Brett Gardner. He's underneath it. There are 2 outs here in the fifth. And another note that bodes well for the Yankees today. CC has never lost to the Blue Jays as a Yankee. He's 3-0. The last pitcher to win his first 4 starts against the Blue Jays was the Moose, Mike Messina, back in 2001, 2002. Here's the number 9 hitter, McDonald, who reached on an error, was erased on a double play, and he takes a pitch for a strike.
One thing I really like about Sabathia, I mean, the numbers and the superlatives are just off the charts. I mean, 53-19 as a Yankee, the highest winning percentage, minimum 75 starts. But to me, it's that style.
Pitch is fouled out of play. I like that too because he works quickly. You can almost set an egg timer in between starts, in between pitches, I should say. When he's on a roll, the foul ball kind of threw off the rhythm there. He gets a sign. Very rarely do you see him say, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, you call it, I'll throw it.
Great pace. And he hides the ball. Watching the ball comes out of the glove right behind his back leg, hiding the ball.
Well, at the end of the bat and foul, count remains 0-2 on McDonald.
Stays closed a really long time. And that's what's so hard. You watch here as he breaks his hands from the glove, the ball goes straight down, hiding the ball behind his body. That's a pretty big backside to hide the ball, too. And he uses that power and stays closed. Very hard to pick up the ball off of CC.
Ball and 2 strikes.
He transfers his weight so well, all kidding aside. Big fella, 6'8".
Good fielder, too.
Yeah. He's an outstanding athlete. He transfers his way very well. Hides the ball, stays closed, and transfers his way directly in line.
Sort of like you with your golf swing.
Not exactly. You watch this delivery. Very much under control. Keeping that front shoulder closed so long, and then finally firing the ball. Here it comes, and the hitter can't pick up the ball till the last minute. That's a beautiful delivery, really, in my mind, in terms of hiding the ball and staying closed.
Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Cervelli, and it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the fifth for CC Sabathia against the Jays. Yankees turn to hit in the sixth, and they lead 4-1 behind the big left-hander. Newest member of the 3,000 hit club, become a Yankees Universe rookie member and receive a limited edition 5-inch Derek Jeter bobblehead. Members will also receive the other items offered in the rookie package, including a Yankees Universe t-shirt and a customized membership card. Join Yankees Universe today by calling 800-GO-YANKS or by visiting Yankees.com/universe. And this call to the bullpen brought to you by AT&T. As John Farrell has gone to Sean Camp out of the bullpen. And a bunt laid down by Brett Gardner, and he is going to beat the play. But his speed has been evident in this ball game. He is now 3 for 3.
It's the perfect time to bunt. New pitcher, first pitch. He's probably going to throw it right down the middle. He does. It's not even that good of a bunt. But Arancibia just hesitates, bobbles it once, and that's all Brett Gardner needs.
2 doubles and now a leadoff single here in the 6th inning.
See the bobble by Arancibia, and that's it.
That's all it took. Here's Nunez. He's grounded to third and sacrifice. Let's see if the bunt is in order here. Maybe the Yankees go to hit and run, or maybe just a stolen base. Throw over the first to check on Gardner. Gardner's been hot in the stolen base department. He's stolen 9 in a row. Here are the numbers on Sean Camp, who's making his 41st appearance of the year. Another throw to first. Camp appeared in the opening game of the series, went 1 inning, allowed a hit, no runs. Since May the 20th, Gardner has stolen 18 out of 22. Another throw. 3 in a row to keep him close. By the way, Ricky Romero threw 107 pitches in today's game, only 59 of them for strikes. 11-24 first pitch strikes, so he struggled with his control today. And that's why he's given away to Sean Camp here in the 6th inning. David, you were right about the crowd. This is Blue Jay days of old. 45,606 here today. Gardner's not going. The pitch to Nunez is popped up. This is near the home plate area. Who's going to make the play? Lynn calls off the catcher. Arancibia reaches over his back and makes the catch for out number 1.
Well, this is, anytime you can, the first baseman's ball, because he's got a much better angle. Every pop-up like that is going to work its way back towards fair play. There's always a little bit of a hump because of the spin on pop-up straight up. Much more difficult for a catcher to judge those type of pop-ups than a first baseman.
Yeah, our colleague John Flaherty says that he wasn't enamored with pop-ups. There's another throw to first to check on Brett Gardner.
Yeah, they don't go straight up and straight down. They got a little hump in them. They work their way back, a little curvature to it. Catchers have to turn their back to the infield and try to judge that little bit of hump and decide where it's going to end up, because where it goes up is not where it comes down.
Gardner with a very good lead over at first. Another throw when he dives back. You notice when he dives back, he goes for that far corner, furthest away from the first baseman's glove. Gardner's had a great series. 7 for 11.
Got these old AstroTurf fields, 1 foot on the carpet, always tells you.
There he goes. Here's the throw to second, and he is in there. A stolen base. 10 in a row now for Gardner. and his 24th stolen base of the year.
Well, a big lead, 1 foot on the carpet, a good jump, never hesitating, never even looking back. Arancibia, the sinker baller camp. Not the best pitch to throw. Even a good throw on the bag probably would not have gotten Gardner on that one.
Yeah, the best base runners, best base stealers, everything has to go perfectly for you to be able to get them. Catcher has to step into the throw, has to be accurate, maybe not the best jump for the runner. He might not be finished. Ball is bounced towards third. It's a fair ball. Long throw for McDonald, and Lynn scoops it out of the dirt. On the play, Gardner scoots over to third. Nice play by Adam Lind at first base. At one time, the Blue Jays thought he wouldn't be able to play first base. But he is, through hard work, getting the job done over there.
See McDonald way over in foul territory, and that's not an easy one. The quick short hop.
And that'll bring up the captain, Derek Jeter. We mentioned last night, just 2 hits behind Hall of Famer Al Kaline on the all-time list with 3,005. Kaline 3,007 in his Hall of Fame career. Then, like Jeter, Kaline had all of his hits with 1 ball club. Kaline with the Detroit Tigers. Jeter takes a pitch, and that's strike 1. Ground ball towards the middle. Escobar a couple of steps to his left, throws on the first to get Jeter, and the Yankees will leave another runner on. Gardner stranded at third. We've played 5.5. The Yankees do have the lead. It's 4-1. Which of these statistics should carry the most weight in determining Cy Young Award winners? And of course, you voted at 58772, and here's what the fans think. Earned run average is the most important. Almost 50% of the fans win second, and the other 2 newer ways of determining carry less weight among the fans. A lot of old schoolers out there.
Yes.
Rajai Davis takes the first pitch low and away for a ball. He has scored the only Blue Jay run. He picked up his 25th stolen base of the year in the first inning. Leadoff walk, eventually coming around to score. His ball is hit in the air to short center field. Gardner's there. And he's got it for out number 1. Last year's results. Felix Hernandez the winner with a 13-12 record. 2.27. David Price second. CC Sabathia third. And you can see the voting results. King Felix with 167. Price 111 and CC with 102. All those other new ways of judging pitching swayed it for Felix Hernandez. Swing and a miss for Thames, strike 1.
It's a great debate. That's the beauty of baseball and the numbers of baseball is that it seems to attract the best and brightest of mathematicians and people who love numbers and comparing generation to generation.
Thames takes another pitch in there for a strike 0-2. You know, one thing about it as far as Price and Sabathia were involved, they pitched in games that had much more meaning. Seattle finished in last place last year.
Yeah, not a lot of pressure in September, right?
Thames with a good swing fouls it back. Sabathia's allowed just a run on 2 hits today. 5 strikeouts. He's walked a couple. Bouncing ball, it's fair. Teixeira has it. Behind the bag at first, steps on it. There's 2 outs. Well, congratulations to King Felix. The King was the winner. Long live the King, right?
Long live the King. You know, and Sabermetrics is grouping a bunch of stats together. There's all sorts of different formulas, including ERA, that you can throw into the mix. And, you know, I remember going to arbitration cases back even in the 80s against the Mets, and my agent sort of grouped a bunch of stats together that would be different formulas, and it would spit out a ranking. And certainly you can bend the numbers one way or another to achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve. But
he spit out the numbers. Did the Mets spit on those numbers?
Yes, they did. And I was offended. Arbitration is an ugly process. But I won.
There you go.
So it taught me a lot, and I love the numbers of baseball. I have a very open mind. I like sabermetrics. I understand the old school approach as well.
Escobar's 1 for 1. He's walked and singled. He's the one who drove in the Blue Jays' run in the first inning. He's hit over .430 in his last 11 games. Primarily out of leadoff spot, but with the absence of Jose Bautista, still out with that twisted ankle, Escobar's been dropped to the third spot in the order. That time for a ball. Manager John Farrell says you might look for Bautista back in the Blue Jays lineup on Tuesday. And I'm thinking that he might come back as the designated hitter. Give him a few more days to heal that ankle that he twisted the other night, the first game of this series, sliding into third base. Big part of the Blue Jays offense. Ball hit hard to center field. Gardner's going to be chased back a few steps, almost into the shadows. In fact, he is. He disappears for a moment, but the ball's coming out, and that's it. Jays 1, 2, 3 in the sixth. Curtis Granderson will lead it off when we come back. Starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Visit us online at verizon.com/Fios or get Fios to get the best deals on Fios. It's going to be Phil Hughes. It's the start for the Yankees. Carlos Villanueva having a pretty good season for the Toronto Blue Jays. He'll be on the mound for the Jays tomorrow afternoon. I think one of the keys to the second half of the season is how Phil Hughes fares in his comeback from that dead arm. Here's a look at a new pitcher, left-hander for the Jays, Luis Perez, who pitched in the first game of the series. This will be his 23rd appearance. 30 strikeouts and 33 in the third innings. He'll face Granderson, Teixeira, and Cano here in the seventh on our Cadillac scoreboard. Yankees leading 4-1. Granderson today is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He leads the American League in runs scored with 81. Tries to lay down a bunt. It worked for Gardner. Will it work for Granderson? No, he's thrown out by a step. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, the turf can give you something and it can take it away. As you see, Granderson gets it down, but this hop off the turf comes right back to Aaron Sebia, almost checking up and backing up to him. Allows him to barehand the ball and get Granderson by a step and a half.
So 1 pitch, 1 out. It'll bring up Teixeira, who's 0 for 3. And the first pitch is poured in there for a strike. Ball is fouled off by Teixeira. We've been talking about pitching stats, but on the other side of the ledger, looking at the hitters in a different light as well. On base percentage starting to hold a little more credence as far as the productivity of a hitter, as opposed to batting average.
Yeah, OPS, on base percentage plus slugging.
It's no balls and 2 strikes on Teixeira. Bullpen still going. It's Frank Francisco.
See, Kenny, you were undervalued in your career. Sabermetrics rates you a lot higher. Your WAR rating is a lot higher than you were given credit for during your career.
Yeah, boy, I've been up there in this day and age.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you really fare well with sabermetrics in your career because you were a high OPS guy. Home runs, walks.
It really wasn't that much of a factor. It hadn't. Some people are beginning to think about it. And that's one reason why Baltimore got me from Montreal in a trade, knowing that I had an high on base percentage. And they were, in fact, my first year in Baltimore, they made me a leadoff hitter. Stole 3 bases that year.
Well, in that little league, right? Walks as good as a hit.
Yeah, that's what they were telling you. This ball is a hit. This is pretty good. Line drive single for Mark Teixeira. His first hit of this game, only his second of the series. He's aboard with 1 out here in the 7th.
Maybe walk may be as good as a hit, but a hit sure feels better.
Yeah,
doesn't it, off the bat?
My whole idea when you went to the plate was to go up there to get a hit, but I was willing to accept a walk.
Right. That's the way you put it. And you see Teixeira out in front of that changeup, but stays on it.
Solid single to left field for Tex. He's on with 1 out and bring up Robinson Cano, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. That is inside for a ball to Cano. It was the other night that Perez sailed a pitch over the head of Cano. Dangerously close. When I talked to Robinson about it, he wasn't too thrilled to talk about that particular pitch. Ground ball to short. Escobar to Hill for 1 to throw on the first. Not in time. Cano beats the relay, and the inning will continue. But he does force Teixeira at second base.
Well, when you got a big guy like Teixeira bearing down on you, see Hill trying to get way out of the way and can't get enough on the throw. A little anxious to get across the bag and out of the way of Mark Teixeira.
Now with Nick Swisher coming to the plate, John Farrell's coming out to the mound. Let's take a look at this on the Coors Light freeze cam. You can see Cano's foot is down, and the ball is not there into Lynn's glove. So Perez is done. Francisco is coming out of the bullpen gate. It's the MLB fan cave for an exclusive interview. Let's look at Derek Jeter's 3,000 hit memorabilia, and Brandon Snyder values items brought to the fan cave. It's a new Memories of the Game tomorrow at 7, only on Yes. So Nick Swisher's going to turn around, hit from the left-hand side against Frank Francisco. It's coming out of the bullpen with Cano at first and 2 outs. Luis Perez worked 2/3 of an inning, allowed a hit. Swisher today is 1 for 3, doubled and scored, and then struck out twice. Swings at the first pitch, maybe off the end of the bat. Hill has it, throws the Lynn, and quickly 1 pitch from Francisco, and the top of the 7th is over. 7th inning stretch on the way. Play. Great partnerships have built on trust at GE Capital. We prove that every day. And here's where we're going with today. CC Sabathia and Francisco Cervelli. They've partnered up to hold the Blue Jays to just 1 run on 2 hits. Sabathia with 5 strikeouts along the way. And if Yankees hold on and win today and CC gets the victory, that'll be 12 wins in his last 13 starts. He has been on a roll. He's getting Lind, Encarnacion, and Hill here in the 7th inning. Cadillac scoreboard, 4-1 Yankees. Over the outside corner for a call, strike 1. Lind is struck out, then had a single. He has one of the 2 Blue Jay hits. Count levels, ball and a strike.
Sabathia in the first inning, a little bit of a blip. Maybe, the extra rest. He was a little up in the strike zone in the first when they gave up the 1 run. But since that point, 5 straight goose eggs and really dialed in.
Foul back, and it's a ball with 2 strikes, 95 miles an hour. David, I always felt that the good pitchers, particularly the Hall of Fame type pitchers, when they had a lead late in the ball game, they wanted to finish it, and they could smell the finish line. They got tougher as the game went on. Swing and a miss, strike 3, off speed pitch. Lind is strikeout number 6.
Well, to me, Sabathia's always had 3 well above average pitches, but this slider, especially to lefties, has got more swing and misses over the last 2 months than I've seen him in his career. Now, maybe that's not the case. Maybe in Cleveland he did, but Sabathia really burying left-handed hitters with that slider this year, better than ever in my opinion.
From a hitting standpoint, watching that last pitch, I know it's tough on a lefty from a big left-hander, but the ball looked like a strike until the very end. You have to go with 2 strikes. You have to protect. That pitch is in there for a strike. Here's the last pitch. Now, when it comes near the plate, it's going to be about knee high. He's got 2 strikes. All of a sudden, it's not. It drops out of the zone, and he kind of strikes himself out. That is a quality pitch at exactly the right time. The 0-1 pitch, strike 2 call. Looks like he's dialed in this inning.
Yeah, he's really feeling it. Encarnacion not happy with that call. But Sabathia also can variate the break, as Kenny said, as you see this reaction from Encarnacion. And that's the way you let an umpire know you're not happy without saying a word.
It's a why me look. Got a piece of this one and fouled it off. 0-2.
Sabathia could sweep that slider to lefties, away. He can get on top of it a little more and make it go down a little more. Seems to be able to variate the break in that slider so much better. Really had it really on a good run with a feel for that pitch.
Ball and 2 strikes. Tried to get Encarnacion to chase one. 83 pitches. Very economical here in the 7th inning. Bouncing ball to the right side for Cano, who gobbles it up, throws on the first, and it's 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th inning. Ten hitters in a row retired by CC Sabathia. Kind of a different look for Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild today as opposed to the first 2 games of this series.
Wow, stress-free. Look at the looks on their face after you're right after the first 2 games. Just stress-free today. And Sabathia has averaged on the year 7.3 innings per start.
Here's Aaron Hill, and that's just off the corner for ball 1.
Which is the 4th best in the American League this year, and he's been better as of late. His most recent run, he's liable to go 8 or 9 very easily, and today certainly Joe Girardi would love to catch him today. He'd be sitting back there in the rocking chair putting the gloves on the corners.
There's the call, strike 1-1. So let's look at Francisco Cervelli. Like he said, I don't think CC shook him off all day long.
It's a day at the beach. Hey, they get the lawn chair out and spread out. You know CC Sabathia is going to not miss that glove.
The lawn chair.
A little sunblock. Give me a pina colada. Let me just stretch out right here.
That's ball 2. All he needs is a cooler next to him, huh?
A little cold Canadian lager.
Yeah. Two balls and a strike on Hill, who's flied to left and lined into a double play. You heard the call from Todd Titchener. It's just outside, and one of the rare times today, CC Sabathia has gone to a 3-ball count. 3-1 on Hill. Just the 4th time today. Bouncing ball foul, and the count is run full at 3-2.
Sabathia's run as of late, we talked about how deep he gets in the games. He is the definition of a frontline starter.
His only loss since May the 19th was to the Boston Red Sox on June the 9th at Yankee Stadium. That's a nice run. Outside with a fastball, and that's ball 4. Well, CC's going to have to work from the stretch here in the bottom of the 7th. Go along with 6 strikeouts. He has now walked 3. And that is his most walks in a ball game since May the 29th at Seattle, when he also walked 3 batters. Here's Travis Snyder. He's grounded to third and popped up to second. He's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss. Ball is knocked down by Cervelli. No advance by the runner.
Wow, Snyder missed that pitch by 2 feet. Well, that's what you call, when you're facing a tough lefty or a young left-handed hitter, Watch this. He's just guessing first pitch fastball. I hope I get a fastball, and he didn't even come close to that. That ball's in the dirt in the other batter's box. You see the commit. Just hoping he gets a first pitch fastball.
Didn't get that one either. 0-2 in a deep, deep hole. Snyder's really come on since coming back from the minor leagues. Hitting over 400 since his recall, but he's got a 7-game hitting streak on the line today against a tough customer.
Nobody like this in AAA.
It's going outside 1-2. Certainly not on payday.
See how Sabathia works him over. I mean, you got a young left-handed hitter, and he takes 2 wild swings at your first 2 sliders. So you take the third one a little further outside. He takes it. So what are you thinking here? You're going to go right back to the slider? You're going to try to get cute, throw a fastball? Snyder has not come close to hitting Sabathia's slider.
Another slider. There it is. He got him. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and CC Sabathia strikes out 2 this inning. 7 are complete here in Toronto at the Rogers Center. Sabathia is dealing. It's 4-1 Yankees. Dealer. Yankees leading 4-1. Brett Gardner 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a run scored. Speed has been evident with him today. CC Sabathia, 7 innings, just 2 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, and Andrew Jones 1 for 3 with an RBI single and a run scored. Speaking of Andrew Jones, he's going to lead it off here in the 8th inning for the Yankees. Here's our Hyundai scoreboard. 4-1 Yankees leading. Frank Francisco deals one in the dirt, ball 1. Francisco started out as the closer this year, as Jones fouls one off. In fact, let's say his season started out in spring training with a pectoral muscle injury, and they left him in Florida for a while. And when he came back, he became the closer. He struggled in that role, and he's given away to John Rosh, the big right fielder. Big right-hander, I should say. Swung on and missed. 1-2. And Rosh is now closing ball games. Francisco's always had a good arm. Throws that fastball mid to upper 90s. He's ahead on the count 1-2 to Andrew Jones. Trying to hit the corner, misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jones, Gardner, and Nunez for the Yankees here in the 8th inning. Jones has contributed with an RBI single, and Gardner has contributed 3 for 3, all kinds of speed in today's ball game. This ball is hit in the air to left field. Snyder drifting back towards the gap. He's called off by Davis, the center fielder, who makes the play for 1 out. Hey fans, you can vote along with us for today's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates: Brett Gardner, Derek Jeter, Andrew Jones, or CC Sabathia. And you can find out on the postgame show who the winner is. Here's Gardner. He's a worthy candidate. 2 doubles, including a sparkling, hustling double in the 4th inning. He has scored a run, stolen the base. Takes a pitch upstairs for a ball here. He is 7 for 11 in this series. And has got his average up to an even 280. One ball and 1 strike. Had a beautiful bunt single. It wasn't a great bunt as David described it, but with his speed and just enough of a juggle by the catcher, J.P. Arancibia, that was all Gardner needed to beat it out for a hit. Strike 2, 1-2.
Gardner got his average up to 280 now with the 3 for 3 so far on the day.
Pitch is in the dirt for a ball. 2-2. One out. Nobody on for the Yankees here in the 8th. And he fouls one off. Showing an example of Gardner's speed this afternoon.
Well, this is the one off the end of the bat. The ball checks up on the artificial turf, and Gardner flies around first base and steals the double. And you see there the stolen base after the bunt single. No chance.
What acceleration. We mentioned the name Ricky Henderson. Ricky got going just as fast as anybody. Slash to short. Escobar quickly gets rid of it and gets Gardner by a couple of steps for out number 2. Escobar did not load up that time. He knew he had to get rid of it and throws out to Speedy Gardner. 2 up, 2 down for the Yankees in the 8th.
Well, that's it exactly. He knows who's running. The sooner you can get rid of it, the better off you are.
He does have a strong arm, though. Pressure's on. Gardner needs a drag shoot going down that first baseline. That'll leave it up to Nunez for the Yankees here in the 8th. He's had a sacrifice in 3 trips.
Gardner would have been good on those old Kansas City Royals teams we used to play against, Singy, in the big old Kauffman Stadium with the AstroTurf and the big outfield.
They had enough guys who could run. Just about everybody on the team.
Willie Wilson.
Ball is popped up to the right side. Drifting back is Hill, the second baseman. And he will, he'll make the play. And the Yankees go quietly in the 8th inning. CC Sabathia has a 4-1 lead to work with as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Hang in there. Battle in the series finale here in Toronto. Coverage starts at 12:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. David Cohen and I are back in the booth for all the action. Yankees, Blue Jays. It all starts tomorrow at 12:30. Only on Yes. Greg Golson takes over in left field. He was added to the roster when Alex Rodriguez went on the disabled list. Golson, as we have seen in the past, brings a good glove with him. A lot of his speed. Hyundai scoreboard, 4-1 Yankees. CC Sabathia's first pitch was strike 1 here in the bottom of the 8th inning to J.P. Arancibia. Foul ball off the end of the bat. It's quickly 0-2. So Golson takes over in left for Andruw Jones. Sabathia well ahead on the count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He went upstairs. Arancibia didn't follow.
Well, this is how you do it. 0-2 pitch. You don't want to waste it. Let's just go right down the middle, up above the zone, just above the top of the letters. Arancibia just cannot catch up with that. And that's a purposeful 0-2 pitch meant for a strikeout.
One down. The number 9 hitter comes up. John McDonald. Just off the corner for a ball. 1 run allowed in his last 31 innings. That 1 run came in the first inning today, but since then been on his game. McDonald fouls one off. Ball and a strike. When they talk about a stopper, this is what they're talking about. The Yankees had not looked good in the first 2 games of the series. Ball is fouled off. 1-2. What the stopper does is one of two things he can do: keep the winning streak going, or he can stop any potential long losing streak. 100 pitches, 69 of them for strikes for CC Sabathia, almost 70%. 2-2, 96 miles an hour just off the corner. He's had at least one strikeout in every inning but two. And in those 2 innings, the Blue Jays went down 1-2-3. Full count now. Following a Yankee loss, 9 starts for CC Sabathia this year. He's gone 7-2 with a 3.49 ERA.
Certainly he is a true stopper, and this is as important as any of all year, I think, in my opinion.
Hit hard, Golson on the move, and he's going to have to play this one on a hop. Comes up with it, fires it into second base, but McDonald's going to have himself a double. That is the Blue Jays' first hit since the 4th inning.
You see the Connecticut kid, John McDonald, somewhat of a Yankee killer in his career, brings this crowd back to life.
One of the better utility players in the game. Golson up against the wall. So with 1 out, McDonald's at second, and the lineup turns over for the leadoff hitter, Rajai Davis, another player from Connecticut.
We talked about Sabathia in this position. He's got 104 pitches. His max on the year is 119. John McDonald with the double. This is as important a game for the Yankees as I've seen all year long after getting beaten up pretty good the first 2 games after the break.
Bouncing ball to short for Jeter. He's going to take a high hop. He's going to have to hustle, and he gets Davis at first. On the play, McDonald moves over to third. Well, that's the difference between artificial surface and natural grass. That ball wouldn't have bounded so high, and you can watch Jeter as he follows through on this play.
Yes, he did, and it's about the quick release is the key. Once again, as we saw Escobar, the Jays shortstop, do this as well. The transition. Out of the glove, into the hand, and over to first. The high chopper. Davis got a good jump, too. Sabathia points him out.
Eric Thames, the hitter, takes a pitch outside. Thames is 0 for 3.
Really tough road trip for the Yankees. 8 straight games on the road. They had a lot of home games in April. Now the schedule catches up with them, and this is a really important stopper game for Sabathia, in my opinion.
1-1 on the count. Yankees, after the All-Star break, had more road games than any other team in the major leagues. 42 of them. 42 of their final 72 games are on the road. David Robertson is heating up in the Yankee bullpen, just in case. 2 balls and a strike.
Joe Girardi's going to have a decision to make depending on how many pitches it takes Sabathia to get out of this 8th inning.
Strike 2 call. Blazing fastball over the outside corner.
Once again, Sabathia right on the edge. Shaving the front corner.
Not many pitches in the middle today. If they are in the middle, they're just a little high or just a little low. Hit in the air to center field. Coming on is Gardner, using the speed he makes to catch. McDonald stranded at third. Sabathia shuts him down without a run here in the 8th. On to the 9th inning. 4-1 Yankees. 4 with a run scored. Big day. Brett Gardner, 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a run scored. He's also had a stolen base. Yankees leading 4-1 as we go to the top half of the 9th inning. New pitcher in the ball game for the Toronto Blue Jays. 6 foot 10 inch John Ross in the game. He's the closer, but he's getting some work in. This is his first appearance of the series, and this will be his 39th appearance of the year. Cervelli, Jeter, and Granderson for the Yankees here in the top of the 9th. Cervelli's 0 for 2 with a walk. Fakes a bunt, takes a pitch just outside for a ball. As we look down towards the Yankee bullpen, we're seeing a familiar figure starting to move around. Cervelli lifts a fly ball to left center field. On the move is Davis. And he closes the gap in left center, and there's one out. 42, Mariano Rivera doing his stretching exercises. And he's going to begin to warm up. That'll bring up Derek Jeter. Now, earlier I mentioned that Jeter's only 2 hits behind Al Kaline on the all-time list. And the Hall of Fame Tiger had 3,007 hits in his career, but there's an interesting story about his 3,000th hit. Speaking of Kaline, he's with the Tigers, and during spring training, he got a call from Dave McNally of the Baltimore Orioles, who was a pitcher for the Orioles and a very good one. And McNally lived in Montana. As Jeter lines one into center field for a base hit, his second hit of the game. And McNally wanted to know if Kaline knew anybody in Detroit who could get him a car dealership, you know, to have when he retired. He was getting there. And Jeter just tied Kaline on the all-time list with 3,000 hits. No better time for this story. So he called McNally back, and this is, remember, this is in spring training. During their subsequent discussions, Kaline told McNally, I had a dream the other night that I got my 3,000th hit off of you. And remember, this is a season where he's approaching 3,000 hits. So sure enough, come September, Kaline in his hometown of Baltimore playing against the Orioles, 2,999 hits, gets his 3,000th hit off Dave McNally. And he had warned him of that way back in spring training in March.
That's nutty.
It is kind of crazy.
And McNally got his Ford dealership.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he did. So Jeter's aboard, having tied the Hall of Famer Al Kaline with 3,007 hits. Off the end of the bat by Granderson, and the count is 1-2.
Crazy dreams, huh?
Wow.
Kaline.
It was a double.
I'm going to get my 3,000 hit off of McNally.
Well, he told him, I had a dream the other night. I think I'm going to get it off you. And sure enough, during the whole season, it came down to that point. Kaline told me that story a couple of years ago in Detroit. What a classy guy.
I had a dream last night about Angelina Jolie. You think that's going to come true?
You can only hope, Tony. Pitches foul back.
Different kind of dream.
Yeah, I would think so. There's a hit for Granderson, his first of the afternoon. The first ever for Granderson as a designated hitter. It'll move Jeter down to second. Fans, you want to stick around after the final out for the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz brings you highlights and analysis from this game, including updates from around baseball. Plus, Kim Jones talks to the players in the clubhouse and Joe Girardi's press conference. It's all coming up after the last out, only on Yes. Maybe Bob can get you Angelina's phone number. Here's Teixeira, 2 on and 1 out. Texas 1 for 4. Yankees trying to add some more runs here in the 9th. Pitch is low and away for a ball. Schera leads the Yankees in runs batted in with 66. Got an RBI opportunity here. That's high and away, 2-0. Jeter leads at second. Granderson's from first. Good speed on the bases for the Yankees. John McDonald way off the bag at third. Schera out in front, pops one up. Aaron Sebia gets rid of the helmet and the mask and makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 down now, and Robinson Cano will come to the plate with an RBI opportunity. Cano is 1 for 2 with a walk. Make that 1 for 3 with a walk. His batting average hovering around the 300 mark. Anytime you got a pitcher on the mound as tall as rock, 6'10", looks like he's throwing straight downhill. And that pitch is low for a ball. He might have been really impressive back in the day before they lowered the mound.
You could see, you know, we talked about CC Sabathia and showed his delivery before, and he sort of has a much longer stride. CC's probably, you know, a few inches shorter than John Roush, 6'8". John Roush kind of picks it up and puts it down, kind of a short stride, which kind of explains why he doesn't throw as hard as maybe he could. He kind of tops out around 90 miles an hour. You know, I believe there's a direct correlation between the length of the stride and velocity. If you watch John Roush, 6'10", he just kind of picks up that front leg and puts it down, kind of a short strider. But he does get good leverage going down. You see Cano with a good swing on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball.
That was Cano's best swing of the series.
Watch him pick it up. Not a real long stride. Watch his foot get on the ground pretty quickly there. For a 6'10" guy, he could really lengthen that stride out.
There's a swing that was right there, and Cano wasn't very happy with missing that pitch. He didn't miss many of those in the home run derby. Fouls this one back, and it's 1-2.
There are some pitching coaches who do teach that style, sort of a pick it up and put it down and stay under control, and gives you better control. And John Roush does have good control, but in order to throw the ball harder, you got to lengthen out that stride, and that's what Sabathia does so well. When you see him pumping the ball up there in the upper 90s, Sabathia just stays closed and lengthens out that stride and is able to generate a little more torque, a little more push, and more power.
Cano skips a little rope, gets out of the way, and the count is 2-2.
That's how when you think of drop and drive style pitchers, Tom Seaver comes to mind.
Yeah, number 1 on my list.
Number 1, and he really, in his prime, threw the ball hard. He wasn't that big of a man, maybe 5'11", 6 feet at tops. Here, John Roush is 6'10".
2-2 pitch, and Cano fouls it off, and the count will hold at 2-2. Seaver could rush it up there. I'll tell you from firsthand, 2 for 31. He was no day at the beach.
Think of Ron Guidry, his long stride and his big motion. He threw the ball really hard. He was 5'10", maybe 5'11".
170. Change up, and Cano swings at it and misses and has struck out. The Yankees going to leave 2 men on here in the 9th inning. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. Yankees leading 4-1. By McDonald's. Not much happening there. Yunel Escobar with the only run batted in. That was a single in the first inning. McDonald had a double. Adam Lynn had a single. They won't be facing CC Sabathia here in the bottom of the 9th inning. That role has been turned over to Mariano Rivera. And those are his numbers. Very impressive. 29 strikeouts in 34 innings, only 5 walks. That's a small group picture there. And this will be his 37th appearance of the year. 582, or make that 581 career saves, the most ever in American League history, looking for 582. And he will get Escobar, Lind, and Encarnacion here in the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees trying to get in the win column for the first time since the All-Star break. Escobar has singled in a run, walked, and lined out to center field. The Yankees go to Mo here in the bottom of the 9th.
Sabathia ended up with 110 pitches and 74 strikes. Turns it over to Mo.
First pitch a little high for ball 1. Mo was selected to his 12th All-Star game but didn't appear. Was replaced by the Angels' Jordan Walden, who throws nearly 100 miles an hour. He's got good stuff.
Yeah, he was fun to watch throw.
Pitch is fouled off. A ball and a strike on Escobar. Mariano with 22 saves thus far this year. Swing and a miss, strike 2. David, I don't know if I've ever seen a pitcher who's been able to repeat his delivery over and over and over again, like clockwork.
He's a superb athlete. Keeps himself in just top shape.
1-2 pitch off the end of the bat, fouled off. Count remains. A ball and 2 strikes on Yunil Escobar.
See, once again, Mariano Rivera, you know, he's throwing the ball 93 miles an hour with movement, and you see his leg kick closes it off, hides the ball in a much longer stride as you see that leg fully extended. Much different than the 6'10 John Roush.
Escobar spoils another one.
That kick leg, that lead leg, get fully extended and lengthen out that stride, and that's how Mariano Rivera gets the velocity and movement that he does.
Over the inside corner for call, strike 3. And of course the impeccable control. 1 down here in the 9th.
Well, this is a good sign. You see Rivera with that cutter, his arms up on top of it, and the late movement, darting over the inside corner.
After all those pitches away, Escobar is frozen on an inside pitch.
And the benefit of being Mariano Rivera sometimes pays off as well.
Here's Adam Lind working on a 1-for-3 afternoon. Doesn't get the call there, just off the corner. Lind singled in the 4th inning. Also struck out in the 1st, struck out again in the 7th. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. That is looped into right field, off the handle, with Lind's going to have himself a second hit of the game. Cutter got in there, but not quite enough. And it's 1 on and 1 out.
See Cervelli's glove? It's coming in there, and I tell you what, that's nice hitting. Lind just cut him off, beat him to the spot. The trick there is leading with the knob of the bat and keeping that ball fair. We see lefties get to that cutter end, and it's hard to keep fair.
Strike 1 to Encarnacion. Souvenir down the right field side. 0 for 3 against CC Sabathia. A couple of punch outs. Strike 2. Runs one underneath the hands. No balls and 2 strikes. Infield at double play depth. Encarnacion stays up there. Mariano holds on, gets the save. CC Sabathia will come away with win number 14.
Mariano Rivera, the All-Star break did him some good. He coming out rested, got up to 94 miles an hour at that last pitch.
Little looper towards right center field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. So Encarnacion one off the end of the bat. Couple of hits against Mariano, neither one of them really stung. But the Blue Jays are going to bring the tying run to the plate with Aaron Hill coming up.
Well, that's the Rivera rally, what you call it. You can see the cutter off the plate. Off the end of the bat. Perfectly positioned. Right in the triangle.
And Hill today is 0 for 2 with a walk as he steps in. Pinch runner at first base to be Corey Patterson. Fans starting to make some noise here in the bottom of the ninth. A little bit low for ball 1. Blue Jays trying to make things interesting. One and one on Hill. Good crowd of 46,606 on hand. Call strike 2. Mariano again hits the inside corner to a right-handed hitter.
This is a dandy. Good arm action. It's got a little depth to it too. Not only did that have a little side-to-side break, it had a little tilt to it too, and that's when Rivera's cutter is at its best.
Just 1 for 11 against Mariano Rivera. Fouls this one off. Comes in there again, and Hill spoils it.
See Rivera choosing to go with the two-seam fastball up to 95 miles an hour. Throws that one a little harder. After the cutter for the called strike, 2 straight two-seamers in on Hill. See if he goes back to the cutter and tries the front door and freeze him again.
Pulled foul on the ground. Hill putting up a battle. Mariano up to 19 pitches here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Fouled off.
Excellent at bat by Hill right here. As Rivera did try to go with the front door cutter the previous pitch.
Jay's not going quietly.
And went away. See if he goes back in after going away.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got it. Up out of the strike zone. He had him in the swing mode.
Well, he does choose to go back in, but this time, as Kenny said, up. And cutting out over the plate, but more the height of the pitch really gets Hill as he is in the swing mode, and Rivera cuts loose a high cutter.
2 outs. Travis Snyder, the left fielder, comes to the plate. Strike one call on the outside corner. Snyder, 7-game hitting streak on the line. So's the ball game. Strike 2 call quickly in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
Just shaves the outside corner. 2 vicious cutters. Unhittable almost. They look like they're in the batter's box and just race to the outside corner.
Tried to check. Did he go around? No, says the third base umpire, Greg Gibson. When he first started with his call, it looked like he was bringing the right hand up.
Cervelli very demonstrative up there. Wants that cutter up and in after the 2 away and then trying to steal a call.
Fouled at the plate. Might have got a piece of Snyder. These last 2 have been influence pitches.
Perfect location. As you see, boy, he almost hit that one off his thumbs and then ricocheted off the knee.
Does he have him set up to go back outside?
Certainly does if he wants. See Cervelli deking up and in, moves away.
2-2. That just missed.
You don't got to worry about sign stealing with Rivera. Everybody knows what's coming. Just a matter of where.
2-2 pitch on the way. That's foul. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 men on and 2 out. Yankees up by 3. Mariano trying to pick up his 23rd save of the season.
Working hard. 28th pitch on the way.
Little bouncing ball hit towards short. Jeter's going to go to first, and that is going to do it. The Yankees pick up the win 4-1. Mariano does get his 23rd save of the year. And the Yankees pick up their first win following the All-Star break. Hard earned in the 9th inning. The Blue Jays put up some resistance. But Mariano, after giving up 2 hits, will strand the 2 runners. And the Yankees win by a score of 4-1. You want to stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. There are the totals: 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Yankees. A run on 5 hits and a couple of errors for the Toronto Blue Jays. So tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees can even this series, and they've got Phil Hughes going on the mound for the Yankees. He'll be in there against Carlos Villanueva. So the Yankees celebrate for the first time following the break. Mariano with the smile and a shake of the head. I guess better late than never, as the Yankees win this one by a score of 4-1. So everybody's happy in Yankee land this afternoon. Yankees struggling in the first 2 games of this series, David, but today they come back and put one in the win column.
You know, and we heard Joe Girardi, the manager, talk about we're going to be okay. We're going to turn this thing around after 2 ugly games in a row up here in Toronto. But that was a big stopper effort by Sabathia. The Yankees needed this win badly.
Let's go down near the Yankee dugout, and Kim Jones has a guest for us. Kim.
I do, Kenny. I'm with Francisco Cervelli, and after the way you guys lost the first 2 of the second half, did this feel like an important game to win today, Francisco?
Oh, yeah, of course. We need confidence back, and you know, with seizing the mound, I think is the perfect time.
You said it all. What was working so well with you and CC?
You know, I think inning by inning, he was getting more power in his fastballs, and you know, sliders really good. So the key for him was attacking all the time, attacking strike 1, and then don't let them swing the ball.
He's won 11 of his last 12 starts, and you've been behind the plate for some of those. Has there been a pitch that has keyed him, or is it more that he has everything working over a stretch like that?
Yeah, he got a good moment right now. Like I say, he can hit a spot inside, outside. So when he is able to throw the ball inside, it's going to be a good game.
In the first inning, Davis gets aboard, and it did look like CeCe was a little preoccupied with him. He scores. But from then on out, how did he get stronger?
Yeah, you know, we talk inside, and I said we got to attack. We got to attack, and that's it. Because I think we throw to Escobar like 4 off-beats in a row. So the key with CeCe is attack. That's it.
And it's got to feel good to shut down this Blue Jays offense that had done damage in 2 games, and you guys also took care of Romero. All around a good game today.
Yeah, it's good. Nice game. Everybody, you know, play hard, and we're going to come back tomorrow fresh and ready to play.
You're always ready to play. Thank you, Francisco. Kenny, back to you.
Thanks very much, Kim. Francisco Cervelli with the word on today's ball game involving the big left-hander CeCe Sabathia. Picks up his 14th win of the year against 4 losses. We'll be back in just a moment. We've got more coming from Rogers Center in Toronto.